Yo, welcome to Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wally. We talking boxing, so you know we talking boxing. We got Byron here, we got Tion here, help us school us on these things. Before we get into the big heavyweight fight, remember to subscribe to that page, Spectator Sporting on YouTube. Hit that like button, cost you nothing. Also, leave comments, and if y'all want us to talk about any topics boxing related, let us know. We'll give y'all a shout out. Big time heavyweight fight over this past weekend. AJ Joshua against Daniel Dubois, and once again, it's looked like AJ in a big time situation with one of these fights that can change his career, where he could be ranked as, it won't just be Tyson Fury and Usyk. It was like, oh wow, a blown opportunity. And the one person who got this fight right, who predicted the victory correctly, was Tion. So Tion,
put out the round.
Daniel Dubois gonna win the fight.
I love it. There we go.
Daniel Dubois had the opportunity to position himself where nobody thought he could be.
Okay. What did you see in this fight? What did you see in this fight?
I saw everything I thought I was gonna see. The first thing that I said when we talked about this pre-fight was, what type of Anthony Joshua are we gonna see?
Yeah.
That's always the thing. He'll show you a really good dominant performance. He'll show you the flashes of the talent that he had. The reason why once he was being mentioned to be the heir apparent to dethrone Tyson Fury. He'll show you that in a one-fight sample size. And that's the issue. I saw Dubois be the same things that I always saw before the fight. He was confident. He was aggressive. And I think that he saw something that could neutralize Anthony Joshua. Overhand right.
Yeah.
It's kind of simple. You know what I'm saying? I think Joshua did not fight the type of fight he could have. He didn't throw combinations with like conviction. The couple times he hit Dubois, it was just one punch, and he was just satisfied with the woo factor. The crowd saying ooh.
Yeah.
Dubois wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't a world beater for him. Like, that didn't kill him.
Yeah.
I still thought the fight was competitive.
It was.
The fight was really competitive, but I just think Dubois, like I said beforehand, I just thought he had something coming into the fight, and after about the second round, I knew what was going on. I knew what was going on.
Yeah, Dubois with a vicious knockout in the 5th round. I mean, you saw the stills and the memes of Joshua's face getting connected with, just a vicious knockout. He falls to 28-4. Dubois goes to 21-2. Byron, what did you see in this fight?
I picked Francis Ngannou to beat Anthony Joshua.
I do remember that.
And took a lot of heat for it. And the first time, I believe, in Anthony Joshua, he pulls a Ruiz. I'm gonna have to disagree with Tion.
Okay.
And everything that he just said.
That's what I'm talking about.
Dubois wasn't his normal self. Dubois actually was what I thought he could be. And I also said that he would be very dangerous if he was this person. And he was a person that did everything behind his jab. He set up his shots. He didn't come in slinging power shots, tiring himself out. He was very, very tentative, and he took his time. He was meticulous in that first round. And he actually didn't land the shot that I think basically sealed the fate of the fight at the end of the first round. But he set everything up with his jab, and his jab was landing, and it was more of a straight left than it was a jab. And it seemed like Anthony Joshua just could not get out of the way of it. And I just don't understand Anthony Joshua. I really don't. A lot of people have accused me of hating on this guy. I don't understand him in these fights where he knows that he has to bring his A game. He has to be on point. I don't understand why he didn't try to box, even though I felt like he had the better jab out of the two. He just didn't. He sat in front of Dubois, and it just seems like he has a game plan. And if anything comes that's,
distracts
him off of that game plan, Anthony Joshua just has no answers. That's why he can't beat Usyk. That's why he will never beat Fury, because these guys will change. They'll give you 3 looks in one fight.
Yeah, definitely.
And if one thing doesn't work, they'll do something else. And if that thing doesn't work, they'll do something else. And that's why I put them at the cream of the crop of the heavyweight division. They are the cream of the crop of the heavyweight division. But this fight just was so disappointing on so many levels. It wasn't competitive at all. You know, in the 5th round, it seemed like Joshua kind of, you know, because this is 96,000. They actually broke a Wembley record.
That's crazy.
And a majority of them people were there to see Anthony Joshua. And it seems like in the 5th round, he kind of got himself collected. He started landing shots, but he forgot the guy in front of him had put him on his ass 3 times already.
Damn.
And he's winging shots in there like he's not going to get clipped with something. And of course, he gets clipped.
He was punch drunk.
And I don't even think it was being punch drunk. I just think he just kind of was like defeated. I really felt like he was defeated at that point. I had the opportunity to watch this fight 3 times, and man, I'm just disappointed in that performance. And before I want to go all in on Anthony Joshua, but not to be long-winded, I still appreciate the fact that he challenged himself by fighting Daniel Dubois, because Dubois deserved this opportunity. And this fight is just as much a testament to Daniel Dubois as it is Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Because Daniel Dubois earned his shot at Anthony Joshua. Yeah. So you don't want to lean on Anthony Joshua and say, ha ha ha, you missed your opportunity, because this is what we want the sport to be. We want guys to challenge themselves. Yeah. Every fight, not just fighting tomato cans and but getting in there and fighting it with the best to prove that you are worthy of the shot. But shout out to Daniel Dubois. He came out with a game plan. He came out with his left jab was money all night. Yeah. And that left jab set up that right, and he did what he was supposed to do.
Absolutely. Daniel Dubois, for far as if you just watching him, you don't watch boxing, you just watch him, he was the better fighter. Yeah. Point blank, he was the better man. I know we could say Joshua blew it, but like to Byron's point, he was the better man today. Adi, talk about this fight. What was your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, Dubois, you got to give him credit. He retained his IBF title.
Yep.
And this was shocking domination by Daniel Dubois, though. Yeah. And Anthony Joshua was on his Errol Spence Jr. versus Bud Crawford mode. Right?
Yeah.
And so
survival.
Dynamite Dubois, he came into the ring at the heaviest weight of his career, all right? And he shot out the gate like a bull. He was rocking AJ's head with that power jab, which set up that overhand right at the end of the 1st round. AJ didn't see it coming. He was by the ropes. He hit him with that overhand right. And AJ did beat that 10 count, but you can tell that he was dazed and confused.
He wasn't.
You could tell he was still dazed and confused when he stood up and he got saved by the bell. And then he was able to go to his corner, but he was still looking a little disorientated out there. And the 2nd round, he got dominated again. 3rd round, Dubois left hook dropped AJ again. In the 4th round, AJ got dropped again. So finally, in the 5th round, there was hope when AJ rocked Daniel Dubois with a vicious right hook, and the crowd went crazy. 96,000 at Wembley. They was all rooting for AJ. There was hope. It was like, okay, this guy's gonna have this immaculate comeback.
Epic comeback.
Epic comeback of the year. He's gonna knock out Dubois. Dubois was looking shaky. And then he caught him again with another right hook, and AJ kept doing the same move. When somebody keep doing the same move on you, he countered.
You figure him out.
He did. He tried to do the right hook again, and boom. Dubois countered with a short right hook and dropped AJ. It was over with for AJ. And it's just amazing that how can a man dominate his previous 4 opponents and then come into the ring against an underdog and get dominated?
That's why they fight the fight.
But I think it's more to that. I think it's like, I don't know if it's mental. He's done this before.
Well, no, this is what happened. The reporter asked AJ about the fight, like what happened with the fight, this and that. AJ replied, he said, I learned to never underestimate my opponent.
That's a fact.
You should already know that.
You 30 fights in and you still underestimating dudes?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You was at one point
That's crazy.
the future lights of the heavyweight division. At one point, they mentioned his name to being a potential great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you underestimate people?
Yeah. Maybe he's just saying that, but I don't know if that was underestimated. I just think Daniel Dubois had a great game plan and he beat
I think
AJ ass. I just think that's what happened.
He a fool if he underestimated Daniel.
I don't think he underestimated. I'm not buying that.
And let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm not buying that.
When I just said it, I'm gonna be honest. The first thing I thought is that makes him look even worse.
That's what, exactly.
It makes him look even worse. You at this stage of your career fighting for marbles, actual marbles, and you underestimating people, and then you telling us that you did it.
Yeah.
He was trying to diminish the
scapegoat.
Yeah, that was an excuse.
I need a way out.
Yeah, I think when he caught that overhand right at the end of the first round, he never recovered from that.
And you got to give Dubois credit for throwing that overhand right that connected.
Tweety Bird was flying.
You know what I'm saying? A strong good puncher make you do that.
What impressed me the most about Daniel Dubois last night was after hurting him in the first, old Daniel Dubois would have went, pedal to the metal, trying to get him out.
Trying to get him out.
In the second round,
he was calculated.
Right back to that jab. He went right back to that. Like, no, this is what you're gonna do. We're gonna do this until I get you out of here.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of set the entire tone for the fight. That I'm gonna box you and set up my shots. I'm not gonna be the brawler. I'm not gonna try to gas out. Even though I still feel like in the fifth he started slowing down. Mm-hmm. But it's just a bad game plan by Anthony Joshua and a great game plan by Daniel Dubois.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
So, shout out to Daniel Dubois. Huge victory. Goes to 21-2. Impressive. Very, very impressive. And we got to talk about what's next to him. But first, we got to talk about AJ. John, what is next for him, Byron? What do you see in the future for him?
I have no idea. I do believe he has a rematch clause. And I said this, I had the pleasure of watching the fight with my colleague Ade, and I said it immediately after the fight. I think Anthony Joshua can beat him in a rematch. I don't understand why he has to have these losses to kind of wake him up, but I still feel that he can beat Daniel Dubois. But again, after he beats him, who is going to believe Anthony Joshua?
Then what?
After that, and then there is a chance that he probably loses to Daniel Dubois again. But it's just, I really don't know. I think he's too young to retire. I definitely don't want to say he should retire. But we had a great conversation, Ade and I, about a fighter progressing his career after getting dominated. And make no mistake about it, this is 5 rounds of straight domination. The one bright spot he had, he got his ass knocked out like 2 seconds after that.
You're right.
So you really have to bring in a question of what kind of opponents that you can put in front of him.
True.
If it is a confidence thing, if it is, maybe you need another trainer. After the whole Ruiz situation, I can't believe we're back here. We're back to this point where we're like saying, okay, Anthony Joshua, you need to take everybody serious because you're on the cusp of fighting the undisputed unified heavyweight champion. And I think it's more to it than that. I don't think I don't take him serious after I think the Usyk one, where he got on the mic and went through the whole crying thing. So I really don't want to hear Anthony Joshua after he loses because he's all over the place. But this question really has me at a loss. I really do not know. Because I don't think that Daniel Dubois should fight him. I think Daniel Dubois should wait for the winner of Joshua, Fury Usyk.
Yes, sir. I agree.
I think you've earned that.
I agree.
And you don't want to get in a ring with Anthony Joshua and potentially mess up your opportunity.
No point to even take the chance. I agree.
This is really a purgatory for Anthony Joshua right now, and I really can't answer that question right now.
Adi, seeing the opportunity that probably AJ Joshua blew, big time opportunity. I mean, he could have really put himself up there legendary status, or at least set himself up.
You setting the table for the next great opportunity.
This was your chance to get Usyk or Tyson.
Yeah.
This was his chance. Now that he's blew this opportunity, what is next for AJ?
Well, a strength of Anthony Joshua is after a loss, he bounces back with an excellent performance.
He does
very well.
Even though he lost to Usyk in the rematch, that was a very close split decision loss to Oleksandr Usyk. Okay, and Joshua put on a textbook boxing performance against Andy Ruiz in their rematch. Okay, but now, however, Oleksandr Usyk didn't destroy. He didn't dominate AJ in that first fight.
No.
And also, at least Anthony Joshua knocked down Andy Ruiz first before eventually getting knocked out in that first fight. So it wasn't like he got totally destroyed against Andy Ruiz in the first fight there. Now, Daniel Dubois absolutely annihilated Anthony Joshua in that fight from round one. And Anthony Joshua was fortunate to last all the way to the 5th round of that fight. That fight could have been over in round one or round two.
He got a lot of help to last too.
Because there was like a low blow when the ref like called.
I told the whole time out. Like, I've never seen that. I've never seen that.
The refs was out of control.
So he was lucky to make it to the 5th round. You know. So and I was thinking about, like Byron kind of brought it up. I was thinking about Felix Trinidad when he suffered a dominating loss to Bernard Hopkins.
B-Hop.
Okay, before that, Trinidad was the man. He was elite, and then he went against B-Hop, and B-Hop knocked him out in the 12th round. And Felix Trinidad never recovered from that. Okay?
Some fighters don't recover.
And Deontay Wilder, second fight against
Roy Jones.
Roy Jones, Tarver. So some of these fighters, Adrian Bronner, Medina. So now you can bounce back from, you almost won.
It was a close fight.
Like round or two or difference.
Right, Errol Spence Jr. What is he doing? You know what I mean? So when you get dominated like that, you get knocked out. We don't know if Devin Haney's gonna bounce back.
Your mouth.
I heard that.
Devin.
No, we don't big up cheaters on this channel.
So if you was gonna ask me, if you put a gun to my head, like will he return? Will he come back and become undisputed, like beat Fury or beat Usyk and beat Daniel Dubois and all this and that? If you ask me, I'm like, no, I think he's done. I think Daniel Dubois ended his career.
Wow.
Damn, that's tough.
That's vicious. I mean, you got to look at it. How old is Joshua?
34.
34 years old. This is like, he had the opportunity with Ruiz and that went south. I understand he did the rematch. But when you at 35 and you get a golden opportunity like he just had, you got to cash in. Because there's only so many opportunities.
In your mid-30s, especially in the heavyweight division, you're probably 2-3 fights away from retirement.
It's hard to argue that.
Tion, talk about what I know. You heard Adi, you heard Brian. It's blown opportunity for AJ. What's next for him?
Like this conversation is so compelling. Like we could go on for days about what we could fantasize about what each boxer could do. But I am with Byron. I don't know. I just don't know. I started off the preview show saying what type of Anthony Joshua we gonna see. For some reason, like both these brothers have explained in length and in detail, why do we have to get a bounce back performance? Why can't the performance be the actual fight in front of you?
Exactly.
He's had this talent for, what we talking about, about 7, 8?
Yeah.
I mean, close to 10 years we've been talking about him?
Yeah.
It takes for him to get smashed for us to see, like you said, against Ruiz, that was a boxing clinic.
Yeah.
He learned from every single mistake he made, and he put himself in harm's way not one time throughout the fight.
Yeah. And
he was able to outpunch and box by the boxer's eye. He dominated Ruiz.
That's why I said he's the better boxer. Like no one can argue that Anthony Joshua is a better boxer than Daniel Dubois. He is. He might not be a bigger puncher, which I couldn't believe, but now.
But he is a big puncher, and that's what I'm saying. Like Joshua has
a better boxer.
He has a deep bag. His bag is actually deep. His jab is good. Like you said, when he works behind that, it seems that he fights with more confidence. Why isn't this consistency here? Fight after fight after fight. So to answer the question, I have no clue. I think he needs to focus on giving A1 performances regardless of who he steps in the ring with.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Which he has. Like, you thought when he fought Francis Ngannou, the way he went there, he came for blood.
Right.
That's how he got to be. That's
right, but it's not every. But I'm just talking about the consistency.
I know what you're saying.
And I'm not even taking away from Francis not being a traditional boxer.
Second fight.
F that. He wasn't. We knew it was fear in that fight.
Yeah.
I was like, I really hope Anthony Joshua do not get caught by one.
It was a sense of urgency, and that's what
I'm saying.
That's why I picked you, Anthony Joshua, and all you Anthony Joshua stands who say that I hate him. I actually picked him.
He's the stand master.
I picked this man. I picked him, but I really picked him because he showed me something in that Francis Ngannou fight where he's just like, I'm not going to allow this guy any room.
I'm going to beat him to the punch in every simple way.
And you can't tell me with Daniel Dubois, because Daniel Dubois still could get hit. He still can get hit.
Defense is not that good.
And there was no, I'm talking about, I didn't like the walkout. There was no sense of urgency in his face, in his eyes. I mean, I called it out. I didn't tell you. I called it out immediately. Because I'm watching them walkouts. And if you have an opportunity to go back and watch those walkouts, Daniel Dubois came out first. Daniel Dubois was loose. He dancing. He doing his London bridges. He was ready. He was ready.
He said London bridges.
And Anthony Joshua came out, and it was like he was like, I gotta fight him in front of all these people. Like, you at the crib. You at Wembley.
He was starstruck.
And it just, man, I was scared from him walking in. I'm like, I don't see like Daniel Dubois. And then as soon as the bell rang, they were like, Daniel Dubois is ready.
Yeah.
And you saw it. He was ready to go. He was like, okay, now I'm
So not to cut you off, let me just throw this out here. I'm sitting here thinking as Byron's talking, Anthony Joshua needs to go find a boogeyman and bully him and beat him up in front of the whole viewer, every pay-per-view.
Who is that?
For free.
Martin Bacoli?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Listen.
You need to go fight a boogeyman. You need to go find somebody who is struck fear in everybody's hearts, and you need to make them look normal.
After that ass whooping, I wouldn't.
I'm without it a little bit. Like, listen, don't get me wrong. Now, when he lost to Ruiz and all his other losses, they wasn't that bad. This one, he got annihilated. He got beat bad. It wasn't like you knew it, Ruiz. You kind of knew when he fought Andy again. It was like, okay, he gonna make the adjustment. I'm not sure even in the rematch he would beat Daniel Dubois. You know, I can't say that he's good.
I would pick him in the rematch. I
don't know.
I feel you, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of.
I don't know if he stays to script, like Adi pointed it out,
and that's the biggest. But that's his biggest flaw. His inconsistency.
But see, this
inconsistency.
He was hurt.
Yeah.
He was hurt multiple times. He got hurt. He got put down, and it's hard to come back. That from a lot of boxers, like Adi said, it's hard to come back from that.
He cannot.
He got hurt.
It is hard.
He was hurt bad.
It is hard for him to get hit with a legit punch and stick to any type of script.
Yeah.
Because when you saw when he got hit and he got hurt, he kind of bagged up and was like, oh shit. Like, like back, if there wasn't no, okay, let me put my hands up, let me, do some little feints, some little head movement. They were just like,
just grab.
And that Daniel Dubois power jab it cannot be understated. That power jab, you saw his head getting rocked back. And that hurt.
It changed the fight. He had no answer for that jab.
Absolutely. Well,
uncomfortable.
Man, crazy fight. You watching Spectator Sporting. When we come back, we'll talk about Dubois next month. We'll be back. We've been talking about this heavyweight fighter, AJ Joshua, Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois with an impressive, dominating performance against AJ Joshua, and now he's kind of in the driver's seat. Is it good to say? Like he took it. Unlike AJ, Daniel Dubois took advantage of his opportunity.
Yes, sir.
We have to give him credit for that. He was ready. He was prepared. And now we talking about what's next, Tion. So Tion, what is next for Daniel Dubois?
I think it's obvious. Usyk Fury. I think Byron and Adi alluded to it earlier, and I think they were spot on. Byron said in particular, he said he earned it. I think that's the world that he should live in.
Yep.
He should live in the realm of I earned what I think I should get next.
Facts.
I'm not gonna settle unless I literally have to. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about one of the best boxers in the world. Let's just be real. Yeah, I predicted him to win, but I'm not acting like that he's the best fighter in the heavyweight division. I just think that Daniel Dubois can cause problems for whoever he steps in the ring with. I think he has enough talent to be able to shift a few rounds or shift momentum at times. Especially, and we talking about the creme de la creme. We talking about the best of the best. We talk about Usyk and Fury.
Yep.
I think, and I'm going to go ahead and say this now, and it might seem crazy, but it might not. I think his odds is better against Tyson Fury.
Blasphemy.
Ooh. Fury's been knocked out a lot of times.
I think
Not knocked out.
I think his eyes, based off, all I can go off is what I've seen as of late. That's it.
He will jab him to death.
That's it. He ain't jabbing Usyk to death.
Usyk is a way better fighter.
Okay. Okay.
Fury's been down in his last 2 fights. He's been on the canvas his last 2 fights.
That's what
I'm not trying to get to a point to where I'm saying look at the decline or all this stuff. We know Father Time is undefeated. I mean, we ain't got to talk about that.
Facts.
But I'm not getting to that point to where I'm saying the decline of Fury. I'm just saying stylistically. I think Fury makes himself more of a readily hit target than Usyk does.
Okay.
I just do.
Okay.
I just do. The feints, the head movement that Usyk does, Fury is 2-3 years away from that.
Fury would drag him to the championship round.
Fury will drag himself through the 12th round. Let's not act like he not. How old is he again?
36.
Okay.
Listen, I know we try to downplay age, but like I know we had this conversation about Canelo and other fighters. Age is a factor.
Canelo should not have let. I'm sorry. Canelo and thank you. Just to go to age, the last 4 fights have gone the distance. Canelo should be knocking out 4 or 5 dudes that he should have extra KOs on his record right now.
Yeah.
You can't tell me it's not Father Time.
Okay. I think the age thing is overrated because Usyk is 37 years old. Daniel Dubois is 27 years old. Usyk knocked out Daniel Dubois.
Yeah.
So I'm not really.
You have that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
There's anomalies.
Better be Evans 39 years old.
There's anomalies.
Lomachenko's 36. I mean, these people can.
Floyd Lomachenko just ran from the young guy.
Yeah, he did. I don't know why he did that. I wish he didn't do that.
he might know something we don't.
So Byron, so you said age ain't a factor. I mean, excuse me, not Byron. I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna go with Adi on this one. You said age ain't a factor, Adi. So what is next for Daniel Dubois? Like, is it gonna be the winner of this fight? Is it like Tiana says, pretty much Usyk or Fury?
Okay, well, when I say age not a factor, I'm just saying like Fury's 36. I still think they can win big fights, but at the same time, age is a factor because they might be trying to hang it up. I know Byron was saying that Fury was talking about retirement previously.
Yeah.
So, and then we don't know how long these guys are going to go. So they might want to just fight on December 21st and then just call it a day. You know, call it a career.
Good point.
So, you know, that's when it comes.
Fury was, I think, if you're not mistaken, Fury was, before the whole Usyk thing came into play, Fury was talking about, I don't know if I want to fight anymore.
Exactly. So now Daniel Dynamite Dubois is just turned 27 a few weeks ago. And his muscle mass increases every fight. And this guy just keeps getting bigger every fight. And he's still growing. He wants revenge against 37-year-old Oleksandr Usyk. But if the Gypsy King goes and is victorious on December the 21st, Dubois needs to go after Tyson Fury and become the next undisputed heavyweight champion. We only had Lennox Lewis, then Usyk, then Dubois can be the third since, you know, back in the day, in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So now Dubois has been blazing into the ring and swarming his opponents. He's just bringing that pressure on them. Yeah. We want his defensive skills to increase. We want that to improve.
They have to.
But his method of operation has been to just overwhelm his opponents.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's working.
Yeah, it's working so far. But that might not be enough to defeat the guys with these very high boxing IQs like Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk, all right? True. However, like we said, Tyson Fury is 36 years old, Usyk is 37 years old, so we don't know how long they're going to be around. So whenever they do get out the way, Dubois can take over this heavyweight division.
Absolutely. You got to understand, this is, you know, we consider this an upset, right?
Yeah. It was
so
upset,
like we can say
y'all consider this an upset.
I did.
It was.
So That's why you fight the fights. So I know what you just said about the Gypsy King and Usyk, but when they get in that ring, it could be totally different. One thing we've learned about since we've been doing this show, you know, a lot of times we think something's gonna happen, and the total opposite is gonna happen. So, Brian, what's next for Mr. Dynamite himself?
You know, Daniel Dubois is a fighter that I've liked to watch. He's very young, he's very raw, but I'm gonna keep it a buck. He can't beat Usyk, he can't beat Fury, and the reason why I say that is because their boxing IQ, as it relates to the heavyweight division, is so much higher than everybody else's. They're not going to even, you know, the disrespect of Tyson Fury on this panel is ridiculous.
You gotta chill.
We forget that Tyson Fury fought 3 fights against, at the time, what many, you know, knew as one of the biggest punchers in the heavyweight division.
Not getting credit.
And when you fight a big puncher at the heavyweight division, you're gonna get clipped, you're gonna get knocked down. But there's a reason why we call Tyson Fury the Undertaker. It's because you can't keep him down. And when he gets up,
that's true.
He has gotten knocked down and won a round.
That's true.
That's crazy.
Won the fight.
Which is insane. And I really feel like a fighter like this, Tyson Fury will be licking his chops to fight because of the height difference and the fact that he will drown him in the championships rounds. Tyson Fury would not be trying to stop Daniel Dubois between 1 and 6.
That's if you make it to the championship round.
That's if you make it. And I get that. But I'm saying Tyson Fury is a fighter, unlike Anthony Joshua. He's a fighter that leans and depends on his jab. He's not going to try to end no fight with Daniel Dubois. He's fighting you to get to the championship rounds. It's not a one-punch power. It's an accumulation of shots. And it's accumulation of shots from a 7-footer. Yeah. You know, and as far as Usyk goes, Usyk's IQ is, I don't even know where it is. Like this guy, boxing IQ is just out of the realm of possibility. Because it's given his height and his attributes. And the fact that he can stand in there with any heavyweight and impose his will. And that's because nobody fights better on the inside. Great counterpuncher. So, you know, if I'm Daniel Dubois, I really would not take a rematch with Anthony Joshua, but I really feel that he will. I think he's going to honor AJ's rematch clause just for the simple fact that a fight with Fury and Usyk won't happen until close to the summer next year. I really think after that fight, they're going to take a nice little break. And then, like we said, like we alluded to, you know, I don't think it's Father Time that's chasing those 2 guys down, especially for Fury. I think Fury has been in so many wars. He's had, you know, little bouts with mental health, and he always says, "I'm as rich as I ever want to be." Yeah. He has everything that he wants, and I think the fight that Tyson Fury wants is Anthony Joshua. He wants to fight Anthony Joshua at Wembley. He was so dejected after that fight because he really wants Anthony Joshua. He wants to fight Anthony Joshua. Everyone is saying that he can't beat him, and he wants to get him in the ring. And I still feel like if that fight doesn't go Tyson Fury's way and he loses to Usyk, he's still going to go after Anthony Joshua. And I think that's a fight that might still happen. But I think he's going to win Usyk too. I think he's going to win that fight, and I think Fury's going to retire. So, do you want to see Daniel Dubois against Usyk again? I don't know. You know, I think Daniel Dubois says he's ready, but I think he loses to him again. You know, and it has nothing to do with his
physically. He's not polished.
I just don't think his defense is on the level.
He is not polished.
His defense is not on the level.
You're right.
Usyk is another guy with a very powerful jab. You know, you don't think it's doing damage, but he leans on all his shots. And
then punches and bunches. Like,
and it's just Daniel Dubois is in the driver's seat, but I would still, if I'm him, you know, I still would go after Anthony Joshua in a rematch. And I know a lot of people will say, you know, just wait it out, and he's earned that. If he chooses to do that, I'm with him 100% because he's earned that shot. But these British fighters are not American fighters. That's what I love about them. You know, I love the overseas, cross the pond boxing because you don't have all that ducking, you don't have all that positioning, you don't have all that waiting for guys to age out. Yeah. Like, they literally want to fight the next guy in front of him, and
because their title over there, the European title to them is bigger than we ever even imagined.
And I think over there,
like to hold that European title, the British title, they're like
fan perception across the pond is much more relevant than it is on in America. Right. You know, they care that the fans will call them duck. They care if the fans don't want to rock with them. Right. They want to be fighting champions. So I think Daniel Dubois, just based on the pedigree, he's going to fight Anthony Joshua again. He has he has an opportunity to win that fight. I don't think he will, but that's what I think he's going to do.
Well, whatever happens, Daniel Dubois earned himself whatever. He earned himself some decision making.
Yeah.
So whether it's he fight the winner of Usyk and Fury, whether he does a rematch with AJ Joshua, he's earned the right. He got decisions. His decisions got to be made. You gotta give him credit for that. He gave himself.
I did want to say one more thing, and I forgot to say this. We were talking about Anthony Joshua. I'm gonna say this: fight McCauley.
Martin McCauley.
Fight McCauley.
The Congo.
Forget it. If you really want to reposition yourself,
fight him.
The dude that everybody because I didn't know at first. I wasn't as versed with this dude. They've been running from him. They've been ducking him. Beat him.
So, but yeah, Daniel Dubois gave himself opportunity, and that's all he can do. So whatever he decides, he's got options now. So. You've been watching Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wiley. Shout out Tion, shout out Byron. Remember, go on to that page, YouTube page, Spectator Sporting.
Subscribe.
Hit that like, subscribe. Leave those comments. We love all the comments we get. Even when y'all disagree, we love it. Also, if you got topics that you want us to talk about in boxing related, let us know. We'll definitely get on there. We'll give you a shout out on the show as well. In the meantime, peace. We out.